Mossel Bay is indicated with a little arrow. Slogan, Turkana Safari, which means diverse people unite. Because it has all the genetic information, it's very wise and very clever, and to touch it is to make you lucky.
Now I'm a bit late. I have to get to the tunnel now.
Hello.
I'm in. Hallo, baie dankie. So ek sê ek is jammer, ek is nou so 5 minute laat. And here's the tunnel. Okay, I'm here at the iconic tunnel here, the Mosaic Tunnel at Pinnacle Point, and at least I got my tunnel photo here, but this is my bike with the tunnel, and hello?
Almost van der Merwe.
Almost van der Merwe. He's going to take me through the tunnel and explain a little bit what is happening here and why the tunnel is as decorated as it is.
But on the left hand side going down to the sea, you first have the emblems of the New South Africa. The flag with Nelson Mandela, which is internationally recognizable. And then of course the national emblems. The protea, the springbok, the honeygun, the blue crane, and the national seal with its slogan, Turkana Safari, which means diverse people unite.
Okay. I'm busy learning a lot here now.
Victory of Tsitsikamma, 36 meters high, and at its base you've got a man in scale, so that you can have an idea what the victory. The yellow wood is not the national tree. The map of South Africa, not according to its political boundaries, but according to its regions. You've got the Kalahari with the gemsbok, you've got the crayfish of the western area, Cape Town with its wine, with Addo, Shishnui, and Kruger National. You've got the two big rivers and a little bit of snow in Lesotho, just to be the origin of the river with the Garib Dam and the Fall Dam, and of course the Grabis waterfall. You've got Sutherland with its telescopes, and of course the Karoo with its sheep and the windmill there. Mossel Bay is indicated with a little arrow. In the sea you've got a little jail over there. You've got Ogulas over there, and you've got the oil rig that used to be there. So that's the New South Africa. Then you get to Mossel Bay itself. Mossel Bay belongs in the New South Africa. So you start with the Mossel Bay St. Diaz lighthouse of 1864. In 1864 it did not have a revolving light, it had a static light. But it's still there after all these many years. A rock rabbit, Irex, Tassis, and this the town. The best part of the town is the point with its caravan park, its zip line, St. Blaise hiking trail, there's a little cafe in there, Dolfinos, grandpa catching his fish, some surfers, and of course the ice cream vendors that you have. After that, you get to Pinnacle Point with Gary Player in eternal playoff with Louis Westhuizen, 57. Then you get to a little bit older, the 1960 Pavilion. Edward VIII was entertained here in 1925. Santos Beach, background you've got Diaz Beach, you've got Hartenbosch, you've got Seal Island, and you've got Salty the Seal that dressed up for the occasion. Little boat out. The Romanza that's been cruising around Seal Island for the last 40 years, and then you have the harbour with this fishing industry and the diamond bourbon that used to supply the oil rig. The increase in passenger ships that is very important for the town's economy. And then you get to the district. Yeah. Erika's down there. Jan Frikkie, Cape Honeybird, got the tortoise down there. Then you get to the district area where the canola lands.
Okay. Yeah, it's so nice. I never thought it's the whole story. It's
a little bit further back in history, ostriches was very important for the town's development. A breeding pair of ostriches in 1890 cost £1,000, which is more than it cost to build the town's house, which we'll get. Real ostrich eggs down there with a little babies heading out, a secretary bird. Of course, the aloes in the area are very important for the economy as well. You get Primasheim is a little church of 1870, and the town's house, which is still there, built in 1879. Porcupine has real tools and tiles to depict these little tools. The War Memorial of 1940.
the point.
At the point.
Yeah.
For the 20-odd young men that died in Delville Bush in the First World War. Afterwards, local lads that died in wars are also recognized on them. Further back, we get to the old town. This is a picture of Mossel Bay in 1852, according to a postcard that we managed to get. That is most probably Bland Street.
Yeah.
And at that stage, it was still under British rule. Before that, Diaz. But before we get to Diaz, the rocket brigade was manned by volunteers. And there were rocket brigades in all major harbors along the coast. The rocket brigade was called out whenever there was a shipwreck. They would shoot a line to the ship and rescue the people on board. Even in 1946, there was a drawing of harbor with a rocket house. Diaz landed here in 1488, and so he was the start of the modern Mossel Bay. But before that, it was the country of the sun, Bushmen, and the Khoi. And we had all kinds of animals in the area, and of course the most famous hippo that was in the area was Huberta the hippo, that walked down from St. Lucia to Keiskamma in 1928. 1,200 kilometer walk over 200 rivers, which made her world famous. So we spent quite a bit of time with the ancient culture, because these were the guys that really developed our impression of what we have. The different names in the area all reflect back to the Bushman area. The Trudeau Pass, for instance, is the woman's road. That's what Trudeau means. And there are several other names in the area, Essequa, etc., that reflect back to that. Bushman Art is in the vicinity. And if the Brandberg can have a white lady, we can have a white lady too. Remember the little girl that was stranded here in the 1700s and became one of the Xhosa chiefs eventually. She was 7 years old, the only living survivor of a wreck, and she started a tribe, the Abanungu.
Cool. Okay.
The cave down here, which looks out at the sea and is now a World Heritage Site. At that stage, 160,000 years ago, it was all a savanna and a wooded area out there, 6 to 14 kilometers long, and that is why we find oil there. But at that stage, ancient people, couldn't see the sea really from the cave where they sheltered. Before the Bushmen, we have the dinosaur area with Bradysaurus, Unitosaurus, and Euparkia. These animals really lived in this area, and they are also recognized in the Karoo, at the Karoo National Park, where they have little pictures of it. And before that, it was a very tumultuous area at the time in the development of the world. And Pangaea was the start of it all, 250 million years ago. We put in the Rift Valley with a little Karoo Sea, and the Karoo Sea was there because of the Falkland Plate, the tectonic plate that moved down towards the south, and for some reason then started moving back. And that pushed up all the Swartberg and the Tafelberg and the Cederberg. It elevated that so that the water got caught here before it eventually broke through at Neisner. Part of the picture is some fossils and over there.
This is very interesting. Now we're going to do the other side of the tunnel. It is basically the sea, or more than natural side of the marine life side, and the other side that we were talking about now was basically the history of the area.
All right, so we start at the deepest part of the sea, where you get animals that make their own light, because there's no light that filters down that deep. We've got a silicon over there on the lanternfish. In the deep part of the sea, we also get whales. We wanted to depict the whale at the life size, but the tunnel was too short, so this is a 60% depiction, which is another very important part of the tunnel, is as an educational tool for schools and so on. So we wanted to show children how big a whale really is. But we've got the mother whale here with the baby whale jumping. Then on child height, we hidden Nemos, and it's interesting that whether a child comes from India or from Alaska, they know Nemo, and there's about 70 of them hidden at child height. Then we've got some orcas, which is also very well known in the area, and they of course hunt great white sharks, so for the safety of our shark we put the orcas in front of it. Of course these are called indigenous fishes, and they are being monitored by a set of buoys around our coastline to document their migration. The oil rig that used to be here, with the oil downstairs, pump, little flame, where they got the diamond vermin once in the ship. We've got a kelp forest and squid. The squid is not an octopus. A squid has 10 feet and tentacles. And that's where we get calamari from. And calamari is derived from the ancient Latin word calamarium, which means ink pot. So that tells you why they called it calamari. We've got some dolphins, a lionfish, the most dangerous fish of the sea. Some crayfish and sea horses. And then we get to the La Fortune, which is a ship that sank at Frikkie Bay in 1763. It was the original 9/11. On the 11th of September, it was a beautiful spring morning. This ship carrying 451 French soldiers and sailors sank at Frikkie Bay, and the sailors and soldiers all got to Cape Town safely and departed from there back to France. But that's where Franceman's hook comes to its name. It's this French ship.
Okay.
It had 56 cannon on board, of which 4 has been found in the meantime, and that's where Canon got its name. So you've got Franceman's hook, Canon, and then you've got Frikkie. Got a very fancy octopus to tell children that octopuses can change their color, and they're very clever. They find their way out of mazes, and this one is even catching little fish, which of course they can do. Cape fur seals, which is also endemic to the area. And then if we've got Nemos, then we must have Hank, the octopus from Finding Dory. Now Hank had only 7 tentacles, this one does have 8. But that's a rather large one that goes over to the roof.
Okay.
Coral, very important to teach children also. That coral is a live animal thing, it's not a plant. And if the circumstances change, it just becomes a skeleton and it can't go back very easily. Then we've got the compass jellyfish, the Ogalensis, which is an indicator of global warming and sea warming. The warmer the sea becomes, the more these things become. And they block pumps and pipes, and even happened at Kuba. And then we get to the beach with the oyster catchers, crabs, little turtles, and Pinnacle Point. And that's where you are now.
Okay.
The very last thing is the little Frikkie. Frikkie is an acronym for a fertile reptilian indigenous aquatic kangaroo, and we made a little story about it, that this is the origin of the species where the split between the warm-blooded and the cold-blooded animals came. It had a little pouch, that's why the kangaroo bit, and it is, because it has all the genetic information, it's very wise and very clever, and to touch it is to make you lucky, because now you get a little bit of that wisdom. So fishermen walk through here and they always touch, because once they touch, they're sure they're going to catch something today. So that's the story about it.
Just remember to touch little Frikkie. Thank you so much.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Big
and yeah, enjoy your day, and thank you for your time.
Oh, good luck with your endeavors.
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate. This is little Frikkie. It is such a beautiful tunnel. Basically, it's I don't know how long is it? 50 meters. Yeah, if you can look, there's Otrans. Okay, this was a great day. Seeing a lot of stuff that I will not normally see